Pick dialogue options to begin with. Hold on or wait to gain additional information before the conversation moves on. Sawed-off street light. Table street light sits among assorted floor and table lamps. Is that a street light? Yes, officer. As you can see, is in perfect working order. His manner is casual, but his speech is careful, measured. He wants you to know that he has nothing to hide. Where did you get this? It was brought to me to be altered. He leans in so the pawnbroker doesn't hear him. We're not here to investigate the theft of city property. He pauses, studying the light, and then adds, you have to admit, it's rather clever what he's done with it. How much for it? 700 real. Even taking into account the risk of obtaining light, that seems a bit steep. But I really can buy it. I'm only 699 real and 40 cents short. There's also the matter of rewiring. The most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago. The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. Bases faintly but persistently. This would make quite a statement in your living room, says conceptualization.
It's not often that I see officers of the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop. Really nice to him. I feel like I'm interrupting you.
Not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately, RCM or otherwise.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travellers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
This business plan is all over the place. You should specialize, zoom in, recapitalize. Quite the collection indeed.
Keeps me entertained.
His attention is drawn once more to the play of light and shadows on the walls behind you. He's well composed, but underneath it you sense psychedelic processes bubbling. Some kind of drug, maybe? Composure noticed psychedelics, so I get a +1 to this. Nah, the odds aren't very good. Anything about the traffic menace on the loose? Traffic. I'm sorry, officer, but I don't drive. Didn't you hear it when they drove over your roof? Now that I think about it, I do remember hearing a thunderous noise the other night. Some kind of powerful electric vortex hitting the shop and then moving on. Sure narrows down our list of suspects. A vortex. It was pretty wild. I didn't really know what to make of it, but I know it meant something. Why don't we try it? Try more rolls. Nope. Okay, he definitely is high. Whatever it is, you've probably done it, and many other things besides, but you can't get through the jumble of sensations to get an answer. Maybe continuing to talk to him, I'll get a reroll. Might be able to aid our investigation. Know anything about the recent hanging? I do my best to keep my distance of all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone. That's all I got. Like to sell my clothes. I could sell the, No, actually, I don't want to lose this. I might need it. And I definitely need the pen. Do you happen to have any guns? Someone else came here earlier asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back. Lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert. Was the buyer a policeman too? She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told, she was terrifying. Right, so let me get this straight. The lieutenant turns to you. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it. I'm sorry I sold my gun. Maybe she's a vigilante. Wants to prove she can do our jobs better than we can. It's possible in these parts of town. We ought to find her and discourage her from taking justice into her own hands. Any idea where I can find this buyer? My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went. A needle in a haystack. There's nothing you can do about it now. You just have to hope you luck upon her somehow. How much did I get for it? You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off-the-charts photon emissions, the unhealthy kind. Can I ask about the missing gun again? I already got all that information. Mostly military wear, with a few more eccentric fashions thrown in. Bust of a woman. The plaque simply says Day. In the dark, a film projector is whirring away. Some kind of machine. Antique cash register? A rack of second-hand uniforms. Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb. Oh yeah? Oh yeah. The print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Hamdal burning. Smells like worn cotton. A little old sweat. Worn cotton with a side of flea market or trash bin. Sniffing is okay, says the shopkeeper. Please don't try anything on. Can't have you leaving your photon emissions in the fabric of things you're not going to buy. You're not imagining it. Photon emissions? What is he talking about? He said that about the gun, and I assumed I just didn't know how guns worked in this world. What's the deal with the man on the It's the man from Hemdal. Walking away from his burning village, yes. I'm guessing I'm supposed to know who this man from Hamdal is, but I lost my memory recently, and I need help remembering basic facts about reality. Huh? I said I lost my memory recently, and need help remembering basic facts about reality. Oh, I see. That's tough, man. I feel the same way sometimes. The man from Hamdal is the hero of a series of popular books, based on a fictional version of Katla. In fact, most people don't think the man from Hamdal ever really existed, but they are wrong. The lieutenant races a brow. Hamdal isn't a real place. Neither is the man a real man, of course, but both the man and Hamdal are an ontological necessity. He stops abruptly. But hey, it's not worth getting into an argument about. What did you mean the man from Hamdal was real? I mean, even if the man from I hope it... Is it Hamdal or is it Hajamdal? Hjalmdal didn't exist before the adventure novels. The stories have made it so that he has. It's simple, really. Okay. You sound skeptical with a C. It's not that complicated. All that's required is a more robust understanding of cause and effect. Besides, I've been to Katla. I've been to Katla, though not quite as far north as the Hjelmdal, and watched the northern lights travel across the sky. Very unique, energetic tides there. His theory isn't exactly incoherent, But its logic does suggest some unusual neural activity. Interesting. Very, very unique energies indeed. Geomagnetic ley lines, one might even say. How much are you selling this for? 2. That's dirt cheap. Couldn't you just give it to me for free then? But why? Repay you in some other way? I deal in goods, not services. It would make me physically stronger. I would get physical instrument +1. But no, I need to look like an authority figure. Can I talk to him again now that he said all this weird
Hello
stuff
again.
about photons?
How can I help you?
Ah, there we go. Roy's prices are strange. Odd brain activity. I can retry the roll, and I have many bonuses to it. Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Perholidon? It's tough to come by on the street. What is that? A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow. Is it just me, or is it really warm in here? He tilts his head. I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature. No judgment, just curious. I probably did loads of Purholidon before I lost my memory. I've had to take it, you know, since the People's Pile cleanup. I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. It must have been tough. Radioactive cleanup. There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment, and early deaths, cancer mostly. We all knew what was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could. Whose fault was it the generator failed? No one's? Everyone's? So much bitterness. A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think's going to happen? How did you end up running a pawn shop? The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died, left me this shack and the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there, it's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far from Faubourg as I can. Still in the same city, but thank you for telling me. I like theory more than story. Outward movement, not vortices. Yeah, you gotta get me in those vortices, man. Can I just ask him to give me drugs? You said you've done it before, yeah? The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. Looks like he doesn't want to get involved. Go ahead then, he thinks. As long as you can walk straight, I don't care. I think I tried it once and liked it. He gives it to me. It has a large cap-shaped object. Thanks, man. So this will increase psych, but will cost me 1 health when I use it. Boom boxes on the shelf look well. Oh, I'm gonna get the tape here, maybe. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with it. Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Gold and orange, a sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it. Harman Waushi W02, made in Vesper, designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats: 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. Set you back 12 reel. If police work means playing tape, sure, you can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape. Alright. Rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Win her back? Yes, buy something nice, a figurine. A truly cool figurine in the box under the table. Oh. Who are they? Franco-Nigerian Knights. I used to be very serious about these guys. A long time ago. Gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. These royalist? Which ones? Oh, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children like bright colors indiscriminately. Soldiers, a few have rifles, shovels and sticks. Are these even soldiers? The revolutionaries. Yes, they are soldiers. Revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. And so this is again, this is something where it probably is going to, like, in a tiny way affect my character sheet for me to say one of these things. Either it's meant to give people hope, even we can do it, or the contrast is meant to be disheartening, as it ought to be, or it is impossible to win against the cohorts of capital. Ask my friend Gart, whose bitch it made me. I cannot comment. This is easy now. A headless man riding a horse. A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say Faun. Oh, that's the Headless Faun Rider. Who? The Headless Faun Rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a faun tracksuit. As you can see, he's missing his head. 50 cents. Bargain priced. I'll throw in the tiny cap, too. I think he's looking for it or something. That part of the story has many interpretations. I do have enough for this, but I will not buy it. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's do something. I mean, I've been doing things. Wait, what was that? Oh, thought bubble. Spirited Church. Oh, okay. Not a thought bubble, just. Can I even get down there? I can. Yeah, I hadn't even realized that that was really part of the game until on here I suddenly realized that it was kind of tracking these stats. Splatter of bullet holes lines the wall. A set of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname. Look closer. The fading marks are too degraded to draw any forensic conclusions, just chips in the sandstone. They look pretty ancient. Someone has been shot. We're cops. We should solve it. Oh, hey, Foxen. Yeah, like, there are so many times, so far, I've only been playing the game for a few hours, but where I've just been picking whichever dialogue choices seem funniest, because I guess I'm more used to, you know, if you're playing Mass Effect, it's like, okay, here is a choice that is obviously, like, Paragon or Renegade, and maybe they even highlight them in blue and red, whereas this, you know, is more nuanced. It's definitely not like, oh, you know, you're this or that, you know, it's... You are kind of, like you said, defining your history as you build your personality back up. There, those are old. What do you mean old? You were fired during the revolution, half a century ago. They do not warrant investigation. What can you tell me about this revolution? Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Shall we go? Got skill points. Am I close to leveling up? No, I need another 40. Money, thanks. I don't start trouble, I fix it. Ooh. Okay, I finally have a plastic bag. Right, yeah. There's very... Most games, even games that are kind of going for, like... your choices matter, don't really put a huge level of nuance on them. The ad reads, broken windows? Tibbs has windows. Right, do I have to equip the bag in order to... I probably do, right? Cool. Now I can get money a little. Coin-operated viewer. Nah. Maybe someday when I'm rich, I'll come back here and spend a quarter. Only Cormorant surveys the sea, indifferent to your approach. This map is turning out to be a lot larger than I thought it would be. This is a wall on the side of an apartment building. You could always roll those double sixes. Why am I looking at this wall? You have no clue. It's just a wall. Oh, this is the other side of the fence. A garden hose. This won't be of use until the snow melts. Chairs and tables eaten by rain and rot. Another splattering of bullet holes on this wall. Just a closed door, but you look at it suspiciously. An orange bum hat that will give me more reaction speed. For some reason. I'm not wearing a hat yet. An orange beanie with a couple big-ass holes in the side. Looks like it might have been used as a mask during an armed robbery. Nice. And now I am Hobocop. Barrels half full of rainwater. Nope. Balcony with a view to the yard and the hanging. Smoker up there could be a witness. Talk to him. Can I get up there? No, I have to yell at him from down here. You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
I'm not looking for any trouble, officer.
He says in a quiet voice. Despite the cold, his shirt hangs unbuttoned on his frame. Why are you whispering? Trouble's found you.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie, if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Is Encyclopedia going to jump in and tell me what a gendarmerie is? No. Don't let him go! Be your witness. Balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Is it really that important? Alright, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
Tell me your name. Martin Martinez. Rhetoric has failed me! Usually failed skill checks don't pop up. I even go so far as to say the view is a little too good, my dear gendarmerie. Do you have an estimate of when the body will be taken away? We will remove the body as soon as possible. Now tell us, where were you last Sunday? Oh, he waves lazily with a cigarette. You already asked me that. Pretty sure I didn't. No, not you. Some more muscular type. And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman? Last week? I don't know. Look. He looks around the courtyard again. Rain patters on the windowsills and dead houseplants. Too late to do them any good. It'll do more than rain to bring this place back to life. You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday? I had a friend over. What kind of friend? It was my Sunday friend. What's your friend's real name? Did he see something? He doesn't reply, gesturing no with a cigarette. Under the gray sky and the neighboring windows are streaked with rain. Alright, we'll talk later. No, we won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going. Red check. This is my only chance to do this. I will try. Pretty please? No. Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and begging. Show him your emotional side. Throw yourself before his very feet, like a dog. Neither of these are going to work. Thank you, suggestion. What do you want from me? Do you want me to cry, huh? No, for God's sake. I don't want you to cry. He takes a quick step back and looks around, clearly disturbed. Listen, I really have to go. New task. Smoke around the balcony. Good luck with the investigation. He walks away. Womp womp. He's gone. We should run after him, see where he went. No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself. So we just give up. He could be a witness, him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. There has to be a way of getting inside the building. Once we found the way in, we can ask around for his apartment. All right, let's do that. A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it. Well, good thing I'm perceptive. This must be for the front door. Pity it doesn't have the apartment number on it. Building has hundreds of apartments. Averax, it is disco time. Should I go? I guess. Eviction notices and missing pets are plastered on top of each other. Yeah, I was saying that as I started the stream. I was like, I went and rewatched my whole stream from last time, and I was looking forward to playing this again so much. I don't know that I'll necessarily stream additional playthroughs of it, because like that, it kind of happened with West of Loathing, where I played through that a second and even third time, and even though I did find some new things, it felt kind of like it wasn't that great to go through a game and be like, yep, and I'm skipping through this and I'm skipping through that because I know it's what I've already seen. And even though this game would be pretty significantly different if you have a different set of skills, like lots of different dialogue would pop up. I don't know if, like, having to look at everything and then read it going, I don't know if I've read this before. Yeah, I'll stream the whole first playthrough, yeah. An old shoe rack, boots, sneakers, and old slippers. These shoes come in 3 different sizes. Loud rumbling snore comes from within. Flip up glasses. Now I look very silly. These flip-up glasses were fashionable in the old, but have since lost their popularity. Their thin gold alloy wire frames are a reminder of drug-addled bohemian artists. These days, the glasses are only favored by organized crime accountants who desire to look cool. My authority is very low if I actually do. I have an effective 0, which makes it hard to pass any roll whatsoever. I like the logic. Maybe I'll just stop carrying the ledger. Yeah, that's the ticket. Who needs authority when you have logic? Why is my several fare so low? Because of my choice of pants and shoes, I see. Someone has drawn a 5-pointed star on the wall. Muns? Lots more muns. Who would just leave money laying around? Alright, Granny. Oh dear.
The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
You alright?
I'm fine. Don't you worry about me.
Goodness.
What you want from me, policeman?
She's the cleaning lady. That's not his name. I'm no one. Just an old woman who cleans these hallways. Do you live here? If you can call it living. She spits on the floor before wiping it off with a broom. I have a little room upstairs right next to the coal room. It's barely bigger than a closet, but I don't complain, no. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company, and that's all I need from this world. Oh! Catch you later, blind. And Azaleas, yes, I have my glasses. I'm looking for Martin Martinez. Smiles a gap-toothed smile when she hears you mention the name. Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here, don't you worry. What do you mean? P-Brain. Someone played a trick on you. Martin Martinez is a name for anyone from Martinez, like Jim Jamrock or Raoul Ravachol. Oops, you really didn't get the joke there. I thought it was obvious. Anyway. He stops before he offends you. Anyway, officer, we don't have the witness's name. How about a young male in his mid-20s, dark hair, skinny build, a smoker on the balcony. Know where he lives? I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right? She looks at the other end of the hallway. Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower. What's he in trouble for? He's wanted for murder. Going away for life. No. Talk! He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of the doors there. He's usually home in the evening. A firing squad for the rich. Couldn't I have just checked every apartment? Someone has torn down the wall. The sea below looks cold and winter gray. Old grocery list on the table and checks. Do. 16 days in coldest April. The cover features a row of concrete buildings with a monochrome rainbow in the sky. It tells a rather excruciating story about two lovers in an ethnic unrest in Yugograd. The book has been filed under psychological realism. In your hands you hold 16 Days of Coldest April by Yakartina Dal. The cover of the row feels heavy. Indeed, the book is unusually heavy in your hands, as though the cover were lined with lead. They would do that in Grad. You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized, and the type quite small and tightly set. It's nearly 600 pages long. Real art is dense and difficult. If it didn't feel like you had to wrestle a suicidal bear to get through it, you weren't really reading. Look at the back cover. The back cover is dominated by a black and white photograph of the author. She can't be much older than her mid-30s in this photograph, and yet from the cover of the eyes, from this cover, the eyes of a sad old woman stare back at you. I think if you read, it makes time pass faster. And I need to find somewhere to live before sundown. Foreclosed. Ah, okay, so it's a different entrance. There's a girl up there. Did she spill the paint? Cape Side Apartments. Sorry, Nauseum. It's very good.
Red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue d'Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth? Blood type?
Alright, thank you.
Last time I was tested for Hep C?
I am the law. I guess all of the... There's also the thing. Okay, so I should do this, right? There was a thing in the, one of the loading screens that was like, don't be afraid to, like, to say weird things, because you're a cop and people will just let you get away with it. But also... in other games, whether they're trying to make the, like, it's a branching storyline, you can be good guy or bad guy, whether they're going for that or not, there is definitely a, like, punishment for rudeness kind of baked in, right? Where if you say to someone, oh, would you please do this? Or you better do the thing. It would be rare indeed for there to be a right, like, at best, they're both going to get you the information that you need. More often, being nice is going to get you, right? Because you whether the game's trying to, like, teach that, or if it's just by default, like, because you're not even thinking about it, you're just like, let's put in these two options. Okay, what's the thing that probably happens if you're nice? Oh, you get what you want. What's the thing that probably happens if you're mean? Oh, you probably don't get what you want. This seems like a game where you probably, like, not. It seems like a game where the different options are probably there because they actually do want you to pick them, not just because they're testing you on, do you realize that if you're mean to people, they won't say what you want? This should be me having a character in mind and role-playing it out. What would Firewalker say? Whatever his name is. Start with your blood type and go from there.
Accosting a minor?
Listen to your partner, pigman. Keep your grubby hooves off little old ladies.
Despite the action, you would keep looking. What are you doing to the wall? Painting a beautiful mural, an arrow graffito visible from low orbit. I haven't really started yet. I'm waiting for the right words. So you don't know what to write? Have you ever tried your hand at graffito? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff like pigs go home or Mona was here. We rarely see pigs around here, though, just union cads. And my name's not Mona, so... Why are you so committed to defacing the building? This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, you know? Summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval. What are you looking at? Nods disdainfully toward the woman performing maintenance on the boat docked on the pier. Where? I see a guy. Oh, it could be a woman. Hatred? Disgust? It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in the girl's features. That doesn't look like that. The hair is much different. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring. That Azan whore. Someone's got to keep an eye on her. Who is she? Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have a feeling she will be cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions. You know, do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet. Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to see her swim back to Ozan. You know, think, of course you don't. I ain't no snitch pigstein. Go forth and forward in someone else's shit. no shortage of squealers in these parts. Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in normal, calm, informative manner. We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko. So we'll talk to the woman on the boat and be prepared to be weird to her. Alright. I'm finding so many items now. This is worth more than you'll ever earn in your in all your life. Well, at the rate that I'm picking up these bottles, I don't know. May have found my calling. All right. Let's dress the part. If we are going to seriously all right. Do I want authority or do I want... I probably do want that. Do-do-do. I might want to also... Hang on. And it looks like the alcohol thing was temporary. I used to be at plus... I used to be 2, and now it's back down to 1. That's okay. The No, I've had this for a while. This is the Mentor, #1 Mentor 2019 mug that Volton Phase and Soul Shadow and Faded Oasis got me. Alright. Minus Rhetoric, taking it off. Logic, authority. I don't think I'll need logic. That's a plus, that's a plus. That's fine. Those are good. Electrochemistry or interfacing? Electrochemistry. Probably should remove the pants, but... you know, family-friendly stream. These are both yellow skills. I'm fine with those. Everything is fine. Bullets? I didn't even notice there was a bullet slot. Interesting. I would drug it up here, but I think I'd die if I do that, because I'll lose the 1 health. I could drink the alcohol and take the pills. Sounds like a very good plan. No, it doesn't. No, it's going just like this. This might not even be an important conversation. Joyce Messier. A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. If I drink the alcohol and take the pills, it's still a family-friendly stream. That's different. I'm just doing it for the stats. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbor. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
This, I guess, would throw her off. Well, I don't have to be weird right away.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold, like steel. There is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
Okay, so okay. Represent the board, owners of the harbor, and so they're like against the strike then.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
It happens quicker than a shooting star, but did the lieutenant just wink at you?
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do? What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking. So what do they do? The Pines' core competency is logistics, container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. She points to the small dots on the horizon. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. Then to the east, toward the harbor. Then to the east, toward the harbor. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms. How much money does Wild Pines have? I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue. This is my first visible encyclopedia fail. What exactly is a billion? Numbers like that mean nothing to me. Yes, past a certain point numbers begin to seem imaginary, but they are quite real for the 72,000 employees who depend on Wild Pines for their paychecks. A conglomerate the size of Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving and growing, it will die. Then, what will become of those 72,000 families? It is a tremendous responsibility. Where do they get all these billions? They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian isolas 250 years ago, when Pine's ships explored the South Semines and charted Lo Manthang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest who emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it. What does such a huge system want with a place like this? You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? She gives you a little smile. Who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? Quite the endeavor indeed. A thought gained. She nods forcefully. There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen. Temporary research bonus, none. Wild Pines, Feld, Capri, Tricentennial, Villers, and LaSalle. Names of Rivacholian Indo-tribes spring into your head, set loose at the mention of Wild Pines. Royal monopolies, octopuses and swordfish, most of them gone now. YBP, Expander, St. Baptiste, Brightest Star, Lum, Resplendent, East, Insulindic, Welter, and Elcaset. But isn't one missing? Wait, no. There were only 14. So why do you feel like there was a 15th Indo-tribe? I have no idea what you're talking about, game. I'm also kind of realizing, I bet it might not be possible to get all of these thoughts in the same playthrough. Some of them may be exclusive, like that you can only get one or the other. How do you research them? I think you just click the button. but time will pass. A significant amount of time will pass. So I haven't pulled the trigger on any of these yet. I feel like since I'm still on the first day, I kind of want to explore stuff first before I even try one of these. Although I will try one at some point. Not in the middle of the conversation, though. Also, I should probably... This is one of these tasks right here. Yeah. I think I'm going to complete this task by talking to her. With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone. What can you tell me about this strike? Everything, right up to, but not including, trade secrets. What if I want to hear about trade secrets? First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Elements that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. I will slay it then. Good luck. It's only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own. What the man means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authorities from the coalition government. Right, yeah. I'm like, that would be... and I wonder if the game would acknowledge it. If you would do this and you come back and you're just like, wait, what were we talking about? And she's like, I don't know, you stopped and stared at nothing for 6 hours. But I'm derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. What is your role? I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay their union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer. And how are the talks going? They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago after that awful lynching took place. Wait. She just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected. Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2.220-meter racist behemoth blocking the gates. Who? What? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now. So the strike is connected to the lynching? Yes, I believe there is a connection, but that's a subject for later. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived. I just wasn't sure how to set, like, 2.2 meters. I guess that's... Don't you normally give your height in centimeters? Don't you say, like, oh yeah, I was 175 centimeters tall. Maybe. Not true. They're also for soda bottles. When did you first arrive? I arrived 3 weeks ago, she thinks, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen. You say it in whatever way confuses Americans. In kilometers, yes. I am 0.002 kilometers tall. Yeah, that's right. I prefer to do things on site, like the RCM. He looks at his notes. But the strike began in December. I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Galmont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Galmont, despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations. Hold on. Let's analyze this. This is important. Mr. Galmont was the original negotiator. Mr. Clare is the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Galmont despite concessions that he had granted the union. So there was a previous strike. Galmont was the negotiator on that one. The union got what they wanted, but then in this strike, Galmont has not... They wouldn't even speak to him. This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike? Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. What are their demands? There are leaflets everywhere and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes, every worker a member of the board. Seems like they have no idea about business. In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker a member of the board. Most of them probably don't know what that means. Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of the 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of the Wild Pines group. The king is king. It's pretty funny. They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution. What are you going to do? I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery, but there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over. And now people are getting lynched, I hear, behind the whirling and rags, a disastrous situation if there ever was one. Excuse me, the lieutenant looks up from his notes. From whom did you hear about this lynching? Her reply comes quick. I first heard about it from the boy at the gates, the one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was Call Me Mañana. This checks out. Thank you. Thank you for learning Imperial. 0.98 fathoms. That's a reasonable height. What happened to this Gaumont? Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? She pauses to compose herself. Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Not cool. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who is more than fair with him and the Union. Tell me more about this Union boss. Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interest of the workers first. Really? Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. Hand-eye coordination. If you were to prick him with something, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier. You sound like you're about to take a rapier to him. Oh, heavens, no. We get along just fine. Yet now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin. She stops and smiles. Is he that bad? He's the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, is that a word? Could be. More irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Oh, there's 2 of them. Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While they're in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. What about the Union itself outside of the brothers Clare? Venal open to bribery. Thank you. The Debardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution, 20 years ago anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did. I can respect that. She adjusts her hair. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a, how do you say, a mob, the lieutenant says succinctly. The Debardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them. Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective? If I may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Debardeurs Union is... And so here's, again, they give you the out, like the explicit thing of saying, I don't want to develop my character at this time. Only measure height in cats. No, we'll continue having him basic. This still, it doesn't look at all like her. It really doesn't. Yeah, why don't I'll pretty much just keep agreeing with her constantly, I think. We'll be like, hey, you know... Yeah, maybe it'll go different next time I play, but for now we'll have him be like, yeah, you know, the union corruption is bad. A giant leech, sucking the life out of Rivachol. Indeed. And a hungry one. Not the red one, like the hair and the shape of the face. This doesn't... and the, like... height, shoulders, everything? I don't know. Sadly... No, I can't zoom in from this screen. Cats are liquid, so you have to take their volume, not their height. Wild Pines have cooperated with amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers. Happened in the elections. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the union. She disappeared. Oh, yes. On the last day of the local elections, her daughter phoned and said she wasn't running anymore or coming to work. Ever. End of story. This forewoman. Her name? Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence. The company record, she's just forewoman in private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the union's files. Downright haunting, if you ask me. Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him. We'll be fine. What can you tell me about this lynching? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. Secret task complete. Ah, so there are secret... I think there was something else that was a secret task. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers. Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. The lieutenant hands her a piece of blue plastic. I'm Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice. How curious. She returns the lieutenant's badge. And why is that, detective? Can we get a JoJo to be continued meme? Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events. Remember when my partner told you I'd suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it. I see. She looks increasingly worried. So are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? None of these... I really wish I had passed a skill check that would have given me something better to say here. I'll say this. It's weird. Catch her off guard. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia? I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition. As I said, ma'am, the lieutenant interjects, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM. Am I? Does anyone know this for sure? Like, the first person that you talk to in the game is like, yes, you're a police officer. I could have, maybe I ate the police officer and took his place. I didn't just eat my badge. I'm very hungry. I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement. Sympathy for my amnesia. Oh, a red check. No. We'll wait till I get the badge. She grabs the mainstay and leans towards you. But before we do, officers, let me be perfectly clear. The situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for all of us.